Hello students. So in today's class we are going to discuss about a new lesson, chemical effects of electric current. So in class 6 and 7 you would have studied about all the basics of electric current and you would have conducted so many experiment using the electric cell, right? And even in class 8 we are going to discuss many experiments related to the electric current, but you have to ensure that you have to make use of only the electric cell for all the activities that we are going to discuss in this lesson, and you should not connect any conducting material through the plug sockets and all. You have to make use of only the electric cell, which is the battery, right? So what are the chemical effects that can occur when we make use of an electric current? That is what we are going to discuss in this lesson. But before we get into the topic, we are going to discuss about all the basics that we have that you have studied in your class 6 and 7. So what we should not do, what are the preventive measures that we have to take when we are dealing with electricity? All these things you would have you will be known very well about it, right? For example, you should not touch any electrical appliances with the wet hands, and you should not play with the plug sockets with the conducting materials. Yes, so you have to ensure a proper care when we are dealing with electricity, right? And what are the good conductors and poor conductors of electricity? So what do you mean by the good conductors, which you would have studied? So the materials that allow the electric current to pass through them are known as the good conductors of electricity. Similarly, the materials which do not allow the electric current to pass through them are called poor conductors of electricity. So when you look at the good conductors, some examples which you can consider for good conductors are iron, copper, aluminium. All these things you can consider as the good conductors of electricity. And that's why if you look at all the wires that has been used for all the electric current to pass through them, they make use of the they make use of the wires which is made up of copper, which is a very good conductor of electricity as well as heat. And if you look at the materials that do not allow the electric current to pass through them are rubber, wood, and plastic. It will not allow the electric current to pass through them very soon. So that is the reason why they make these materials are called as the poor conductors of electricity. And so far you would have done experiments, especially with the solid state materials, right? But what about liquids? So when you consider liquids, we are going to check whether the current passes through the liquids also, liquids or not. That is what we are going to discuss over here, whether the liquids also conduct electricity or not. So before we discuss about that, what we have to do here is to check whether the liquids conduct electricity or not. We have to make use of a special device called a tester. So this tester most of you would have will have in your home, or most of you would have seen. So we make use of this tester to check whether whether there is a flow of electricity or not. Most of the electricians will make use of the tester to check inside the power socket whether there is a flow of electricity or not, or even on any other conducting materials. When there is a flow of current in any conducting materials, even on that also you can make use of this tester. And this tester, if you see, you will have the plastic covering on the holding, where you will be holding with your hands, and at the tip you will be having the metallic end. Yes, so before you make use of the tester, what you have to do is you have to ensure whether the tester is working or not. To check whether the tester is working or not, what you have to do is the things that you need are some wires, and then electric cell, and then an electric bulb. So to check whether it conducts electricity or not, you have to connect the wires to the free ends of the tester as shown in the picture. And before you connect wire to the free ends of the tester, you have to remove the plastic coverings from the tip of the wire. So after removing the plastic coverings, connect the wire to the free ends of the tester, and similarly the other end over here. And after doing this, the other end of the wire should be connected to the positive terminal of the electric cell, and from the negative terminal, the other wire should be connected to the electric bulb. And the other end of the wire will be connected to the tester, from the bulb to the tester. So by doing this, what will happen? If the bulb glows, the tester is working. If the bulb does not glow, you can come to a conclusion that the tester doesn't work. So, and you have to ensure that you do not connect wire for more than few seconds to the free ends of the tester, because it will drain the battery very quickly. So you should not connect the free ends of the tester to the wire for more than few seconds. And to check which is a poor conductor of electricity, I have told you the metals that conduct electricity are called good conductors, right? So it is made up of an iron or Aluminium, so it is a good conductor of electricity. But to check which is a poor conductor of electricity, when you wrap the wire to the plastic covering of the holder, here the bulb does not glow. So from this particular experiment, you can come to a conclusion that this plastic is a poor conductor of electricity. Now, let us discuss some of the electric components, especially this one you would have studied in your class 6 and 7. So why do we make use of the symbols for electrical components? Because this makes the work much easier to draw the circuit diagram, which is more understandable when you make use of the symbols. And it will make your work more easier because for each and every time to draw the connections, if you make use of these electrical components, you will find it a little difficult to understand, as well as you will find it it will be time consuming even. So to avoid all these things and to make your work much easier and understandable, they make use of the symbols for electrical components. So for electric cell, if you consider the shorter line and the one long line will be used here for the electric cell. So this particular symbol they will make use of for the electric bulb, and for the switch on position, to represent the switch on position, this particular symbol will be used, and to represent the switch off position, there is a break over here or there is an opening in the switch. So that represents a switch off position, and here two or more cells when you combine together, that is called as a battery. So one particular cell you will call it as the electric cell, but when you combine two or more electric cells, you will call it as a battery. And always a line represents a wire. Now, to understand whether the liquids also pass electricity or not, or conduct electricity or not, we have to perform an activity. So to do this activity, the things that you need are, you have to take a small plastic bowl, and in this bowl you have to fill it up with vinegar, or you can fill it up with lemon juice, right? So take this solution over here in this plastic cup, so ensure that it is clean before you use the liquid. So you can pour some vinegar or the lemon juice inside this plastic cup. And after doing this, this kind of a battery is available in the markets nowadays. So get this kind of a battery over here and connect the wire. So one end of the wire has been dipped here in the solution, and the other end of the wire has been connected to the electric bulb, and from the electric bulb the other end of the wire has been connected to the solution, has been dipped into the solution. And when you're dipping the wires into the solution, you have to ensure that it does not touch the uh, base of the cup, and it should be 1 centimeter apart, and both the ends of the wire should not touch each other. See here, they have kept a distance apart, so both the ends of the wire should not touch each other, and you have to keep it at a distance. Yes, by doing this, you can check it out whether the bulb is glowing or not. So if the bulb glows, you can come to a conclusion that lemon juice or vinegar, this kind of a liquid, conduct electricity. Yes, if the bulb does not glow, you can come to a conclusion that the liquid does not conduct electricity. Even in certain liquids, even if you consider the liquid, certain liquids will allow the electric current to pass through it, and certain liquids will not allow the electric current to pass through it. Got it. And based on this, if you want to draw a circuit diagram, see, by using the symbols of the electrical components, you can draw the circuit diagram very easily. So just compare with the diagram, which just compare with the picture, and you can draw the electric circuit. See here what they have done. This is the battery. So from one end of the battery, that is from the positive terminal, the wire has been dipped into the solution. And from the negative terminal, what they have done, they have connected the one end of the wire to the bulb. And from the bulb, again, the wire has been dipped into the solution. That is the lemon juice, right? So this circuit diagram explains that testing conduction of electricity in lemon juice or vinegar. And see, the wire has not touched the bottom of the cup, as well as it should not touch each other. The tip of the wire should not touch each other. So by doing this, there is no break in the path of the electricity, which allows the bulb to glow. If there is a break in the path of the electricity, the bulb will not glow. So this is how you have to perform this activity. And so if you consider in this activity, when the liquid between the two ends up, so if the tester allows the electric current to pass through, which means that circuit of the tester becomes complete. So if there is going to be any break in this path, for example, if the wire has not been connected over here, or if the wire has not been connected to the bulb, what will happen? The circuit becomes incomplete and the bulb will not glow, right? Because there is no flow, there will be no flow of current if there is any break in between. So you have to ensure that all the connections are intact, right? So that is what they're trying to explain here. So how does the bulb glows actually when the electric current passes through it? So what is the reason behind the bulb glowing here? So so inside the electric bulb you can see a filament, a thin wire, right? So when an electric current passes through the wire, what will happen? The filament inside this bulb gets heated up. So if you look inside this bulb, you could see the filament inside this bulb, and when the electric current passes through this, the filament gets heated up, and it is because of the heating effect of the electric current the filament tends to glow, and because of that the electric bulb glows. And if there is a low if there is very poor electricity connection, or if the current is going to be very weak, or if there is no flow of current, what will happen? The filament does not get heated up sufficiently and the bulb does not glow. So this is how you can conduct this experiment to understand whether the liquids also conduct electricity or not. So I hope you understood this class, children. Thank you.